there, welcome to my channel. Today we're going to be making a double poof wreath with 21-inch mesh. So I have 2 rolls of 21-inch mesh and I have a work wreath frame. So making this work the way I want it to come out is going to be all about how I started. So I'm going to get my, and these are my 2 mesh. I have a turquoise and a pink. Okay, and I'm going to pull all of my ties inside and then open the outside ones. I will be using 3 zip ties as well. This is a personal preference for me, but you at least need to use 2 zip ties. Okay, so a zip tie to get it started. And what I like to do is I like to use that first zip tie as my first tie. That's the part that you do or don't have to do. It's up to you. So how I'm going to do this, I do have this on my mesh roller. I'm actually going to take my first mesh, gather it up just like normal. Okay, making sure I keep those 2 edges kind of tucked under. Then I'm going to take my second mesh and I'm going to gather it right next to this. So this is what's going to make it different. We're going to be putting 2 on, not on top of each other, but next to each other at the same time. And I'm going to kind of pretend like it's one mesh, and then I'll kind of spread it out. So I'm going to take this, put it down in my zip tie. This just keeps it from coming loose later. Okay. And then I can trim off all of this excess. There we go. So you can see this is my first tie. I'm just going to ignore it until I come back around. Okay, so I'm going to go over to this one. So that is approximately 10 inches. All right, so skip the first tie, go to the second tie, then come back to the first tie, tie it down. That's going to be about 10 inches. I'm just going to keep doing this same thing. Okay. Don't worry too much if it's not looking great in the beginning, because we will fix all of that once we get it spread out. I usually spread them out as I go, but I'm actually going to do it all and then spread it out. Okay. So it'll kind of look like they're sitting on top of each other, but that's just because we have to get around. And then we'll fix that. Okay. So you can see we'll be able to pull them so that they are separate. And just like this. And then they're both going to be kind of side by side. Okay. Alright, so we're back to the beginning. So now I will use this tie. Okay. All right. Now I'm going to take a second zip tie. I'm going to pull this whole piece, both of them, up to the top. Then I'm going to grab my zip tie and use that as my beginning tie. It also just helps to keep this small and not be seen. Okay. Then I'm going to kind of separate them again. Okay, there we go. Now, same thing like we did on the bottom, but we're going to need to open our ties first. So let's do that. Okay, so we're going to go to the second tie and back to the first tie. Okay, second tie, back to the first tie. Okay. There. So this uses 2/3 of a roll. Okay, this is our last tie where we zip tied. Okay, so I'm going to tie this off. Then I'm going to trim this off. Okay. Alright, so one thing that I want to note is I use the same 2 mesh to do the crisscross. So 2 mesh makes 2 projects if you're doing the right projects. Okay, so I'm going to take that leftover, bring it around the back. I'm going to zip tie it down. And then I can trim off the excess. Just keeps it nice and clean. There we go. Okay. Okay, then trim off all of that excess. There we go. See how nice and neat it is? Alright, now, what we're going to do is we're going to pull these separate. Okay, so there's a couple ways you can do it. Alright, it's going to be nice and full and big. You could alternate them if you want. All you have to do is pull one under the other, or you could keep them all the same. I think I'm going to keep them all the same, but I will show you how you do that. Alternating. Okay, see how you just pull one under the other and then pull it out. So you see how it's alternating? That is cute. But I do want to do all one way. Alright, so you can do it either way. Okay. Alright. You can also make them completely separate, like this. Or you can have them kind of overlapping a little bit. Okay. You can start on the bottom or the top, doesn't really matter. Kind of spreading it out. There we go. There we go. So now you can see how it's all pink inside. If you wanted to be really fun, you could even take another color of mesh and just go through the middle. Okay, so let's do the bottom. You just spread it out. Okay. Have the pink overlap just a tiny bit. There. So you see how that's going to fill in the center very nicely. There we go. Okay. Oh, that's pretty. Look how pretty that is. Let's look at it. Oh, how cute. Look at that. Isn't that fun? Oh, I love that. Okay, so I have a specific sign in mind for this. Look how pretty that looks. Okay. So these are the ribbons I want to use. I have a turquoise glitter. I have a pink. Then I have this one that has the pink and the blue and the green on it. And I have some green. We're going to put tails on the bottom. I'm not sure I want to put tails on the top because of the sign. I'm thinking about maybe just doing some little bows on the top. So let's get something together for the bottom. So we'll need 5 of each. Okay, we're going to put the blue and the pink together. Okay, so this is the embossed ribbon. Okay, so we're going to do 12-inch tails. So we need 5. There we go. And I do want to dovetail them, so I just fold them in half and cut up towards the wired edge. I'll just do the same thing to all of them. Okay, so we're just going to alternate on the bottom. We'll just take our ribbons, fold them in half, pinch in the middle, gather it, and get a little bit of a curve going underneath it. Then we'll just come to our frame, tie it on, and trim off the tie. Tuck it back there. So you can leave these together or you can spread them apart. Either way you like to do it. I kind of like it slightly spread apart. Okay, and then we'll alternate with the other color. I like just that little bit of glitter in there. Like that. Okay, so we're just going to keep going all the way around doing the same thing. Okay, so I've gotten all the way around with our ribbons. Aren't they pretty? Alright. We're going to go ahead and attach our sign, and then I'm going to show you how we're going to make the bows. I'm going to make a couple with you, and then I'll make a couple off camera. Okay, so I'm just going to punch a hole in the top and the bottom. And we are not going to be using a bow maker today because I want to show you how to do these without having a bow maker. Okay. So I get about 20 inches of 26 gauge wire. I do use my metal hole punch. It's much better for these metal signs. And honestly, a lot less expensive than using the mounts. Okay. You just run the wire through the hole. Match it up at the top. Okay, twist it together just like that. gather it, twist it. All right, now we're just going to take one of my plastic weaving needles. You can always find links for the tools I use in the description. Okay, I'm going to load it just like I'm loading a needle to sew with. Okay, and I'm going to push it down through my mesh. So this is why I like this, because I can push it right through the mesh. It's not going to hurt the mesh. And then I can tie it on. You want to tie it fairly tightly, the wire. As far as the sign, you want to make sure that you have it not so tight that it's going to squash your mesh, just kind of floating above it. Okay, so you don't want to push down the mesh, you just want to float on top. You do want it to be snug, but not so snug that it's pushing down. Okay. You can pick any point you want to. So what I do is I pull it so I can feel it. But you see, it's floating. I could move it if I wanted, but not a whole lot. And then just tighten it on, twist it around that frame several times. Okay. There we go. Oh, look how pretty that is. Okay. I am going to go ahead and cut these ties and tuck them in. Okay. Just to get them out of the way, so you won't really see them. I am going to pull out the pink a little bit just to make sure it's still showing. So if you wanted to see more of the pink, then you would use a smaller sign, like an 8-inch sign would work. Okay, there we go. So I'm going to kind of nestle it in here like that. Okay, let's make sure. Get all of these. Okay. Isn't that cute? Okay, now we're going to do some bows. And what you're going to need is a few pipe cleaners and then something to measure with. So I'm going to use my mat here. It has measurements along the bottom. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to measure out my tail first. So I want, somewhere around 8 inches. So I'll go to my 8-inch mark and I'm going to pinch it right there. Then so if I want a 5-inch loop, I need a 10-inch piece, 6-inch loop, I need a 12-inch, so on and so forth. So we're going to start with 5-inch. So I'll go to the 10, pinch it, and just bring it right behind. There is no need to twist. Okay, you don't have to twist. Okay, so then we're going to use the ugly side to measure, because we're not going to twist. Pinch. Now we're going to bring it across. Okay. So the first time we brought it under, the second time we brought it across. So you can tell because you'll be able to see what side of the ribbon is up. Okay, so let's do that again. Measure 10 inches, pinch, come across. Okay, so now you have 3 loops. Okay, no twisting. So we're going to get an 8-inch piece, trim that off. Then we're going to take a pipe cleaner, okay, and a full-size pipe cleaner. Go around to the back. I like to pull it up like this and twist it. It just is going to make it much tighter, and it's going to give it kind of the same effect you get if you twist it. Okay, So then we are going to dovetail this one. All right. Now we're going to do the same thing with our green. So you can see we have 3 loops here. Okay. So, dovetail both sides. There we go. All right, so 8-inch tail, pinch it there. Okay, 10-inch. There we go. Bring it behind. 10-inch, bring it across, so over. Okay. We still haven't twisted anything. So 10-inch, pinch, bring it behind. So on one side, you're going to bring it behind, and on the other side, you're going to bring it over. And just let your ribbon guide you as to which way you need to go. Now we're going to use a half or a smaller pipe cleaner. Okay. Just like that. See, and then we can take this zip tie, tie it around this one, okay, and put it where you want your loops to go. So this is great because you're not going to have to fluff nearly as much, okay? All right. Then we can tie it in the back, tie it tight. So I'll twist it several times and then trim it off and then just kind of push it down. There we go. All right, so you can dovetail or you can do these at an angle, really whichever way you want. See, and then we have a nice small bow that we can go and put right here. Okay, so I just go around both sides and tie the little bow on. There we go. Okay, so you can see in the back, this is where I tied it. Okay, and then I'll just trim it off and just kind of twist it around that frame. And then you can just refluff when you bring it back up. This one even seems a little bit longer than I want. I'll just trim that off. There we go. Oh, so cute. So now let's do one with the other ribbons. And then I'll do the others off camera. All right, so exact same way we did the first one. So 8 inches. Just pinch where that 8-inch is. Go to 10-inch, pinch where that is. Bring them together. Okay, so you can see this one will be especially easy to tell which side we need to be on. Okay. It doesn't matter if you measure it this way or this way. It's not going to make any difference. Okay, so pinch. Okay, just like that. So what you're doing is you're bringing it back to the center and you're putting both under your fingers. So I'm using my finger and my thumb, just like that. Okay, so 10. All right. This ribbon is a little stiff, so don't worry. You can always fluff it out. Doesn't want to twist on its own, but it's okay. It will twist. Just like that. Okay. See, there's nothing you need to do here except pull it out, trim it off. If you have trouble trimming while you're pulling it out, just put your pipe cleaner on and then do that part. You want to make sure you have at least one full pipe cleaner. So if you're stacking on top to make a bow, just use a smaller pipe cleaner for the second, third, fourth, whatever layers, and you can make an awesome bow. So the 3-loop bow is one of the most common bows that is made in floral designs. Okay. Alright. If you've ever been to a floral show, you'll know exactly what I mean. Okay. So then we're going to put our pink on top. Alright, so same exact thing. Okay, go out to the 8, pinch. I'm just gathering it. Okay, 10. Underneath. You can also vary the length, so if you wanted to keep going down, so if you were doing 12, that would be 6, 10 would be 5, 8 would be 4, 6 would be 3, so on and so forth. Okay. Okay, pinch, bring it. Okay. If you're worried about them getting off, you can pull them up together to make sure they're the same. Sometimes in your hand it'll look like it's off when it's really not. So don't stress yourself too much about it. Okay. So each time I tie it, I'm going to pull them up like this and tie it tight. This is just going to help them fluff really nicely without having to do the twisting. Okay. So then I go round. Okay. And I'll twist this on. Trim it off. And then tuck it under. Alright, so now there's not a whole lot you have to do to fluff it when you make it this way, because you're not really putting it in a zip tie and all of that. Okay, so now I'm going to come here. I'm going to put the next one down. Okay, so kind of alternating them. Alright, so same exact thing. I just twisted it on the frame like this. Trim it off. Just tuck it around. There we go. Okay. Okay. And I can make sure I don't have anything too long. Everything looks fluffed. Oh, see how cute that is? Alright, so I'll do the other two and then we'll look at the wreath. Okay, let's take a look at it. Oh my gosh, how cute is that? Let me pull this bow up just a tad. There we go. Okay. Oh my gosh, that is so cute. Oh, that is so cute. So you can see the little bow stained glass sign in there. We've got our ribbons. You can still see the pink and the blue mesh. How pretty is that? Oh, I love that. All right, I hope you enjoyed it. You have to let me know what you think. And be sure to like and subscribe and hit that bell icon so you know when we're going to be uploading something new or when we're going to be going live. Okay, thank y'all so much for watching. Bye, y'all.